Why do most people give up on coding? Today I'm actually filming from Taipei, Taiwan as I'm doing my travels, and the rain here finally cleared up, and it's cloudy, so it's nice. And I wanted to make this video today on why most people they don't make it in tech. Because when I was a tutor for a coding bootcamp where I helped so many students out with technical capabilities. I helped them out via Slack or on Zoom, and I stayed connected to a lot of them on LinkedIn after they finished, so I can see how they are, to see their journey into tech, and because I care about how they do. And to be honest, most people they complete the coding bootcamp, but they don't get that dev job. So I wanted to talk about 3 main traits that I've noticed from the students that I tutored about the ones that actually make it through in this field. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is that they don't give up. I know that can oversimplify things, and it is that black and white. They just don't give up until they make it into the field. And I also got this advice from one of my interviews as well, and I asked the staff engineer, someone with like 10 years of experience, of advice for aspiring software engineers, as I was one. And he said, yeah, never give up. So you will make it in the field as long as you don't give up. And it's gonna be hard. And also, especially if I noticed that if the person did well in their old career, they're pretty good at their old career, they were successful at it, they just went back to their old career because they were already good at it. Getting to coding was like a new start for them. So they give it a chance and they give up and they go back to their old job. So you just have to not give up. And then the second thing I noticed is that they were curious. I know this is a common trait from all my coding videos, but it's super important, because I'll be helping these students, and sometimes I could tell that they just wanted to answer and be done. They just wanted to get the code working, the app working, and they didn't really care what was going on. Like, the moment they had to do something outside of the assignment, outside of the ask, outside of the requirement of a project, they probably couldn't figure it out. But if the students actually cared about learning and wanted to know why something worked, that would make all the difference. They didn't just nod like, oh, okay, I understand, even though they didn't really. They're like, hold on, let me ask, let me clarify. Because sometimes I could tell they just have this look on their face where they're like, okay, but I don't fully understand. It doesn't click in their mind, and that's what's so fun about coding, that moment where it clicks. And some people never get to that point on the projects. They just move on before it truly clicks, that fulfilling part. And without feeling that fulfillment, it's hard for them to make it into the coding field. And lastly, what I noticed between students that make it is that they take initiative. Because they sign up for this coding bootcamp because they want a curriculum. They want to know exactly what technologies to study. They want to be given the exact projects to do, and then the exact steps to do after coding bootcamp. Just like following directions, kind of like in regular school. You have to follow directions, you have to memorize things, and you pass the tests, and you get the degree. the diploma for high school. So, but coding is a bit different. Things aren't set in stone. The field is so vast, so ambiguous. It is more of like problem solving. It's more of like figuring out like a puzzle. So to do this to make it happen. There's no right or wrong answers. You just have to optimize for what's most important for the business, what's most important for the app you're building. And then, so you have to take initiative to figure these things out. Things aren't given to you. And then the students that take this initiative, I find, are more likely to succeed. They take initiative in going to extra office hours to ask questions for on the projects they've done. They take initiatives on not just completing the project, but going above and beyond. They take initiative on truly learning what's going on rather than just getting by. And they take initiative applying for jobs. They take initiative for like asking for information interviews, because things aren't handed to you, and especially on the job when you work as a software developer, like you're not given step-by-step instructions on how things work. You at times you have to take initiative. You have to take initiative to figure out what questions to ask, what project needs to be done, what tickets need to be made, and how to prioritize certain things. So that's why most people don't make it, because it's not like other jobs where you get a task. There's like this entrepreneurship side to it, where you have to figure out what you want to do and how you want to go about it. And so I apply these principles today for when I do my freelance web development business. I don't give up. These projects, they're not easy to do. The app ideas they want, like, it doesn't exist. It doesn't currently exist in the market. That's why they want it built. And with this new app idea, I have to take initiative to figure things out. There's no step-by-step way to how to build this app. I have to figure out the steps for this app, and I'm like curious. I'm always learning. I have to learn so I can build this app that doesn't exist, that there's no step-by-step instructions. And if you can't take initiative, figure things out where there isn't step-by-step instructions on how to do the job, it's going to be hard for you to make it in this field. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos where I talk about my coding journey and how it helps me freelance in web development.